Hey, what's up, guys? Zach Robertson. Want to make a video starting off my Queen's Gambit series. No, not the opening the Queen's Gambit, the TV show on Netflix. It's a fantastic show. If you haven't seen it, I suggest you go check it out. Especially if you're into chess, which if you're watching this channel, you probably are. You'll really appreciate the show and what it has to offer. I wanted to go over kind of just the whole series and touch on some things and the positions specifically that they put in the show, just to expound on it, and because it's such a great show, and a lot of people might not understand or catch everything that's going on in it. So I want to create this series to hopefully solidify things, and mainly just for entertainment. So, kicking off, if you haven't seen the show yet, might be some spoilers dropping, so be aware. Now, in the first game, Beth Harmon, when she goes downstairs and plays against Mr. Scheibel, she loses to what's called the Scholar's Mate, and he tells her it's a Scholar's Mate. Now, a lot of people know this is the 4-move checkmate. So it starts off with e4 and e5, and it doesn't have to be e5, but often e5, and then the bishop and the queen both target this f7 pawn, and a lot of new players will fall for this. A lot of new players go for this. You know, if you see high-level players, they don't go for the Scholar's Mate, because nobody's going to fall for this except for new players, which Beth Harmon is in this scenario. So she plays knight there, attacking the queen and attacking this pawn and going for a fork, which would be great, except that's checkmate. So that's her first game with him. Just a good one to make sure you don't fall for. In general, you want to watch out for anybody trying to play the Scholar's Mate on you. Just, don't let it happen. Play the knight up, or the I don't suggest a pawn up. A pawn up takes care of that. Yeah, but mainly the knight up is going to be your best friend there. Next, she plays Mr. Scheibel again, and I'm showing you the. I'm going to be showing you the view from Beth every time. So she's playing black this time, so we're going to be black. And they get into an interesting position here, and so she brings her queen out early, might I add. This is a bad move, because she's bringing it out early. She's stopping her knight from developing to his best square. She's blocking the bishop once she fianchettos. The bishop coming here, it's just not a great place to go. He can come down here and kick it off. And this is the blunder here. This right here, bring the bishop up, because now the queen is trapped. Mr. Scheibel trapped Beth's queen. Queen has nowhere to go. Nowhere on this diagonal because the pawn. Nowhere on this diagonal because the bishop and the pawn. It can't go back because the bishop. So the best move is to just take the bishop, and then after he takes back, this is where you resign, is what he tells Beth. She resigns because she lost her queen, and that is normal. That's not just something they do on the TV show. If you're going to lose your queen like that, often the sportsmanlike thing to do is just to resign, start a new game, because you know you're going to lose anyway. Most likely, unless you're playing a blitz game or something fast that you can get the other person to clock out on. But if you're playing a slow game, then you're just going to resign at this point. There's no use making your opponent fight tooth and nail to get you into checkmate when you both already know the outcome of the game. You just lost your most important piece. So, moving on. This is Beth Harmon's first win against Mr. Scheibel. It doesn't tell us the opening or the middle game, but we come to this end game here, and it's a very interesting ending here. So Mr. Scheibel had his knight attacked by that pawn, so he runs away, and then the pawn comes in and attacks again, and as it attacks, it's discovered a check. And the king can't move on this diagonal, so it can't move here. It has one place to move, which is right here. And he could block if he wanted to, which is what he does. That's probably, it looks like his best move. And then after takes, the pawn pushes forward. And this is completely lost for white because this is going to turn into a queen. White can't stop it next turn. He can try to attack the pawn, but I mean, yeah, you're still going to promote. So no, there's no stopping this here. So this is where Mr. Scheibel resigned. Okay. Now, he was telling her about the opening, the Sicilian Defense. He told her she needed to learn. And this is when he, after she beat him, he decided, you know, she could play white sometimes, and that he needed to, she needed to learn a new opening. And so he taught her the Sicilian Defense, which after e5, which is the most common opening for white, e4, c5 is played instead of e5. Now, this is considered the best reply to e4 for black. Computer-wise, just in general, people say the Sicilian is the best. Sometimes it's very sharp lines, so you need to memorize a lot of theory. Other times not so much, but it is a very good way for black to have counterplay in the center and to bring out pieces, but that's not what we're here to talk about. So then he goes ahead and shows after this the 11 fish variation, which after this normal Sicilian position here, which is in all the Sicilian positions, black goes to fianchetto, so which is called the dragon because of the dragon shape. And this is the 11 fish right here. The pawn push to f4, trying to get more center ground and attack on the king side. That is the 11 fish variation that he's talking about. Alright, so the next game, Beth Harmon is actually playing white this time, because she's allowed to play white against Mr. Scheibel now. And they start off in the, looks like the Roy Lopez, and, or no, that's the Italian game. Roy Lopez would be the bishop right here. And after they get to, trying to find where the tactics are here. We all want to see the tactics. So this is an interesting one. Instead of, the pawn is attacking the bishop here, instead of moving the bishop back, which would be common sense, she goes ahead and takes that, and then after takes back, the queen comes up to check. So this is a tactic here, seeing that she needed to move the knight to have the queen come into the attack, and there's a beautiful, beautiful ending here. And the king comes up and hides, and the bishop comes attacking the queen. Queen moves, attacking the bishop, but, you know, not really, because the queen's protecting it. And then the bishop comes in to attack the king again. And after he takes, it is going to be checkmate with a pawn, no less. And pawn checkmate is always fun, exciting, and makes you feel like a badass. So that was a really beautiful game that Beth played against Mr. Scheibel. Now then, Mr. Scheibel gets the coach of the chess club, the local chess club, for the high school to come over and play and meet her. And we see her in this position with Mr. Granz, which is his name. And this also is a quite pretty checkmate here. We see check with the queen, and then the king is blocked here from the knight and everything, so he can't go anywhere. So the only way to block is with the pawn. And then after takes with the bishop, he has to take back with that, and it's checkmate. This is quite good. The king is being smothered in by the knight. Not sure how they got to this position. We could guess, but that is a pretty checkmate in the end there. And then this one is one of my favorites in the show, and it's the last one we're going to go over for the first episode of the show. She's playing Mr. Grands again, and playing the well, she played an E4 game. Looks like he's playing the Caro-Kann, and queen attack, block with the bishop, and castles. Now it comes in and attacks, and instead of taking back or anything, she sacrifices a queen here, checking the king. King has no other option here except to take the queen back, and we can see that there's a discovered check once his bishop moves. So here's double check. So he can't just take the bishop because it's still in check. Double check is very powerful a lot of times because you can't just block this because you're still in check. So the king has to do something. So he moves, and that's a really pretty d8 checkmate. Punching through here to block this square for the king as well. And that's just a very beautiful checkmate. Good for the movie. Good for the show. So that's the first episode, and I'm going to be going through the whole series. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your favorite position was on this, and what you think of the show. I finished the show a couple weeks ago, and it was honestly fantastic, especially being a chess lover. Just seeing all the different positions and how they work with it, and when she gets up to the GM level, it's fantastic. Highly suggest it, and check out the next video of the series. Thanks, guys.